Hello, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Excellent. Sorry for the delay, but a bit of a crazy day so far.
No problem. Thanks for willing to talk.
Of course. Thanks for reaching out and great to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but I was the person that also got the.
I do, and my goodness, that is incredible. Wow. So the question is, do you regret it or are you happy with the decision? That's the most important question.
No, I have like a bunch of anime tattoos, so
All right. Left deltoid is a great spot. As a physical therapist, good spot for a tattoo.
so I could just jump around a little bit before getting to Genshin.
Whatever you want to do. Yeah, of course.
So, in terms of like professional entertainment things, was the first gig that you had was winning a contest for CBS Mobile.
Wow. How did you find that? Yeah, that's actually whoo! I was doing stand up for a couple years before that, and then a friend of mine told me about this contest that this is I mean, I'm dating myself, but this is way back when phones were first having the ability to show us content. So I'm talking, I mean, 2008, I guess,
Yeah.
something like that. And so it seemed like a fun thing to where I signed up for it, and basically you would go to CBS Studios in LA and you would do a minute of stand up. It was called Comedy Cage Match, and whoever was watching would vote on who would win. And one round after another, I ended up winning the contest, and it got me a job at CBS Mobile, is what it was called at the time. And so I would go in weekly, and we would honestly we had free reign. Me and these two guys who became two of my very close friends, we had free reign to just create silly content, and we would advertise like what shows are going to air on CBS, things like that. We had a comedy channel. I ended up doing stuff for the sports channel, and it was really my first introduction to being a host, as far as on camera stuff. And then that led to more things down the road. But yeah, that was woof, good find.
Is there also a special story of how you got into SAG, if you are in SAG?
Uh, no, not really. Oh, basically, I did extra work on the TV show Chuck.
Okay.
No special story. That's just how it was.
Yeah. Was doing like character voiceover work always something that you wanted to do as well?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. I've essentially got into voiceover ballpark 14-ish years ago. Um, and at first, I really didn't know what I was doing. I signed with an agency that they had rep me for hosting, and then I got introduced to the voiceover team, and they thought, I had potential and things like that. And so they had studios. So anytime an audition came in, I would actually travel to the studio and record with them. And the first 6 months, I had no idea really what I was doing. I was hoping I would book things. And then out of nowhere, I want to say one of the first jobs I booked was GTA 5.
Oh
And,
yeah.
but I didn't know it was GTA 5 because everything in video games is so secretive, as I'm sure you've been told many times. So I just remember going into the studio that day, screaming for about an hour. And at the time, I wasn't really trained in how to protect my voice. So I lost my voice for almost 2 days after that. Because back then, I was only talking from here. I wasn't talking from like down here in the diaphragm. I didn't know any better. And I didn't know what I was getting into that day. I went in studio and they said, "Hey, you're a really angry firefighter and you're just going to scream the whole time." All right. And so I did that. And I remember that day I saw a friend of mine at the same studio, and he was going in. He also had no idea what he was recording. Fast forward to maybe a year later, that friend reaches out and says, "Hey, remember that day we saw each other in the studio?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You know what game that is?" I said, "I have no idea." He goes, "It's GTA 5." And I was like, "Were they ever going to tell us?" He said, "Nope, probably not." And so, sure enough, people found the character, and then my brother and I, just for fun, we ended up finding the character a few times over the years. And yeah, I don't know if that's a common thing with GTA where they if you book a tiny role they don't tell you, but I'll be honest, I had no clue. It was exciting to find out because it's one of the most iconic games of all time, and now obviously they just announced I think late May 2026, what 12 13 years people have been waiting now, so that's
Right.
it's an exciting time.
Were you also or like are you also much of an anime person? or not
To be
really?
honest, I'm not very well versed in it. I have some friends that know everything about it, so I learned a few things from them. When it came to Genshin, I'd obviously heard of the game because of its massive popularity, but I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have time to game in my life between career and you know being married, three teenage kids. It's six rescue pets. It's hectic. I wish I had gaming time. The most I have is like my son and I will do Mario Kart every now and again, but that's nice and easy. You play Mario Kart for 20 minutes and you're done. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to get into the games that don't necessarily end, but it's very exciting to be part of one. I've done voices on a bunch of other games that have done really well, just not on the level of Genshin. I mean, there's a game called Nobody Wants to Die that has won multiple awards that came out in the past year. A small company in Poland that really just went above and beyond to make a great game. And the reviews from that are really high, and people enjoy it because you can essentially finish the game in 8 hours or less. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like a detective noir game that takes place, I want to say, in the year 3000 or something like that. It's really futuristic, really cool. And I play the villain in that, which is, I've never played a bad guy like that. So that's really neat. Um, Another game that's super out there, it's called Showgunners. That's been out for about a year and a half. And that's kind of like a throwback. It's like a mix of like Tron and action games of the 90s and another company in Poland. And the game's done really well, really high reviews. And that was a little more my wheelhouse. I'm the play by play guy, and I call all the action because essentially as the player you are inside of a survival game kind of like Hunger Games style, and the entire world is watching you try to survive, and I'm the guy calling the whole thing. So it's super fun to be a part of it. So that game's out there too, and then some other smaller ones. But as far as the level of Genshin, I mean, when I found out I was going to be Aoife, it just blew my mind. I'm like, oh, this is a lot of responsibility.
It does seem like from what you've already posted since he's been out that you connect with him on like every level pretty much.
Dude, that's the fun thing, is that I remember getting the audition. Of course, you have no idea what it is. There's a code word that you don't, you see the word, you're like, all right, whatever this is, I don't know. But I remember seeing the description of the character, and I was like, dude, this is me. He's a veterinarian. He's very chill. He says dude, he says bro. He doesn't get rattled very often, and he cares about people around him, and he loves animals and takes care of animals. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm a physical therapist initially by trade. My wife and I have six pets, all rescues, essentially all from the street or near death. Um, that's my personality too, is I rarely ever get ramped up or mad or upset. I always try to be the voice of reason, and I try to be the easygoing person in the group. I was like, this character is me. But of course, anytime you get an audition, you're like, oh man, what do they want though? Like
Yeah.
what kind of, you know what I mean? Like, because as you know, in video games, some characters are really over the top. Sometimes you have to change your voice completely. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be me talking. I'm obviously going to say the lines in a believable manner, conversational manner, but I'm just gonna do me, as they say. And it worked. A little while later, I heard, "Hey, would you be interested in this character?" Still didn't know what it was. I said, "Yeah, of course. I love this character." And it wasn't until I got in studio for the first time where I found out what it was, and I was like, "Wow, this is awesome." And then the more I've learned, the more excited I got, and obviously, it was pretty cool having the Easter egg in 5.1. And then, then Kuku showing up in 5.3 was hilarious. And then when 5.5 hit, I can't even explain to you how the feedback has been. It's been so cool. Like the fan base is not only massive, but they're passionate. And obviously, look, you and I have both seen there's been a lot of drama over the last couple of months. I stay away from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this opportunity and this character is not lost on me. I know how important this game is to people, and I know this game is a release. I know gaming in general is a release for people. It's fun. It's something they're passionate about, and I love that. I'm passionate about this character, so I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm like, man, I want to deliver what people expect Aoife to be, and of course, you do your best, and then you hope for the best, and man, the people reaching out and the comments and the man, why is Aoife the only character that's getting no hate? I'm like, all right, let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
And so it's cool seeing the videos pop up on timelines, the fan videos that are getting made. I mean, I get a kick out of it. And so yeah, it's been an honor. And what a cool character. Like, man, once I saw the visuals, I'm like, man, they did Aoife some cool justice and hopefully my voice has done the same.
Mhm. What do you think about his relationship with Ororon?
Oh man, here's the fun thing about that is yeah, obviously they're bros, good friends, and Nathan and I ended up meeting Nathan Noakes.
Yeah.
We both ended up at VoiceOver Atlanta. So for those who don't know, VoiceOver Atlanta is essentially I call it the National VoiceOver Conference. It's the biggest voiceover conference in the world, really, and it happens once a year. And I had never had a chance to go, but I said this year I'm going. I planned it months in advance. I'm going to make it happen. Of course, my luck, some work popped up the night before, the night I was supposed to go. I said, I don't care. I said, I had the craziest day ever. On a Thursday, I had to fly from LA to Vegas at 6 a.m. to host a press conference for a boxing event. Then I had to fly back to LA. Then I had to call a wrestling event that night. Then I had to go from the event right to LAX and fly red eye overnight. And I finally got to voice over Atlanta that afternoon on essentially no sleep. But the funny thing is, I saw Nathan post that he was going to be in VO Atlanta. I was like, dude, we got to hang. And sure enough, we did. We hung out a bunch that weekend. We shot that video where we were talking about vegetables and everything, taking that dialogue, took the photo together, and, we've completely hit it off. And now we consider each other friends. I mean, he's so insanely talented. He's got such range, and he's as chill as Ororon is, just like Aoife is. You know what I mean? So the fact that Ororon and Aoife are such good buddies in the game, and then Nathan and I have completely hit it off as friends and as professionals as well. Feels like it was meant to be.
Do you have because I'm sure you've seen the art too, but do you have a reaction to the people that ship them romantically?
I mean, people can do what they want. That's not my that's not my thing. You know what I mean? Like all I can do is voice the character and do the best I can. Same thing with Nathan. Fans are going to get creative. Fans are going to be artistic. And look, I wish I had the six pack that they give Aoife. I really did. Man, if I could have that kind of stomach, dude, I'd be 100% on board. But no, look, I've seen the Ororon, whatever, and I don't know if that's a common thing with Genshin where they're shipping certain characters. I believe it is.
Yeah.
But I take it as, look, that just means they love both characters and they're passionate
Right.
about both characters. And look, if they want to do that, that's more power to them. But obviously, I don't think that's going to come up in the game. If I had to,
Right.
you know what I mean? I think we want to keep the game out of the relationship element for the younger people that are playing. But no, I mean, look, that just means people are passionate and they love the characters, so that's cool.
What about Aoife's relationship with Silali?
I actually don't know much about that one yet, so tell me about it.
Well, I think I mean, obviously her and Oran are a lot closer, and it's like a familial kind of thing. But I think her and Aoife, it's more of like transactional.
Okay. I mean, that's something that might come up. See, when I'm in studio, a lot of times I don't know the full context. It's been really cool watching the clips from the events because now
Yeah.
I'm piecing it all together. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know Nathan did the whole like sleeping with the fishes. I didn't know that was, you know what I mean? Until I watched it, I'm like, this is fantastic, dude. Like, way to go on that. Like, and now I see why people are watching the events and they're getting a kick out of it and they're getting a lot of laughs because, and the whole thing, like, hi, I'm Aoife and I'm 5. I kind of understood what I was doing, but not. And once I see the event, I'm like, oh, all right, this is really funny. So, I that's the thing is you don't necessarily know everything. So what you just mentioned, I hope to learn more about it. Maybe there'll be more down the road. I mean, 5.6 is out, and I think people are really enjoying it. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see Aoife and Oran and other characters from Natlan go to Fontaine.
Right, 100%. It's and learning about the whole thing is great. And then you add in Kuku and a how. I mean, the interactions there, and I've connected with the actor who voices Kuku, Dominic Ketchum-Bone, very talented guy. Ironically, another Italian. Um, and so yeah, man, it's funny because some people have asked like, "Oh, you voice Kuku?" I was like, I wish I would have, but Dominic crushes it, and the sense of humor that Kuku has, and just it just adds such a fun element to not only IFA but to the entire game, and it makes me even more excited for the future of IFA. I think that with how strong this feedback is and how much fun people are having, and I appreciate all the, IFA should be a 5. Everyone's saying that is so cool. Like that's very nice. No control over that, obviously. But it makes me excited for the future of IFA and Kukuku because there isn't anything these two can't do together. And having him right there over the shoulder, it just adds so much more. And then, of course, him getting lost and then dealing, Risley having to deal with him. It's really funny. Like, what is this? What is this Saurian doing here? And he's just talking smack. It's great.
Yeah, this might be obvious too, but was the way that he talks up to the client decision?
Good question. You mean Kakuku?
Aoife, the whole bro thing.
That was actually that was written. That's the dialogue.
Okay,
Yeah. So they did say like when we got in there, the dialogue had some dudes, some bros, and Chris Faye, the director, is incredible, and he gives you some leeway. So you usually get a couple of takes, and so for me, it's like when once I felt like I really knew Aoife, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say things naturally, and if a dude pops out, if a bro pops out, then so be it. And so far, it's worked out really well.
do you have a default line that you have to get into his headspace?
Well, it's funny you say that. And yes, that's a good idea. So every time we go in, we have to do about 4 to 5 lines essentially of getting in the zone, voice matching, if you will. So they'll play a line from a previous recording. I have to like repeat it, same tone, same style, and then we repeat that like 4 or 5 times. And so by the end of it, you're there because my natural voice is probably a little bit deeper than Aoife. Not
Okay,
much, but a little bit. Because sometimes, like, my voice can be real deep. Like, if I'm just chilling, my voice is like, eh. And that's a little bit too much. So I have to make sure I get in the right tone to where Eve is a little bit more like, hey, bro, what's going on, man? Oh, yeah, we're here. So, but yeah, we do those 4 or 5 lines and then I'm ready to go.
I'm sure you have multiple, but do you have single favorite lines for him too?
Obviously, the hi guys, I'm Aoife, my name is Five. That one, now that I understand the full context of it, like, how can I not love that line? And obviously, another one that's always gonna really mean a lot to me is the first line from the trailer. Is what up, my dudes? My name's Aoife, a vet from the Flower Feather Clan. Like hearing it for the first time and seeing it for the first time, I can't explain how much that meant. Because yes, there's excitement when you're recording, and yes, there's hope when you're recording, and yes, man, you're doing your best, and you're like, I really hope this character resonates with people. And just from that one line, when I saw the reaction from the trailer, I was like, wow, this is this is exciting. So, and I think that's actually no, there's another line later in the trailer, but hearing that first line, that little introduction, I think it's perfect because Zeef is showing up, super chill, super bro, yet he's a medical professional. He's helping out Saurians. He loves animals. And he's just like, hey, what up, my dudes? I'm here to help. I'm like, that's me right there. And so that line means a whole lot to me. I'll never forget it. I'm trying to think. Those two are great. And are there any that stick out for you? Maybe it'll jog my memory a little bit.
I think you covered like kind of the same ones that I like.
Yeah, those two are great. Obviously, the watching the event back with Ororon and when Kakuku is pecking at the one guy, and I said, hey, that's my assistant, and he doesn't take too kindly the way you're talking about him. Like that, my natural accent came out more there. I'm from Pennsylvania, so like sometimes like when I say, hey, watch, wait, don't be talking about me like that. Like I get into like my little Italian thing, and so when I watched it back, I'm like, oh, they went with the take of just me using my own voice. Like, hey, Kakuga doesn't like how you're talking about him. I like that line a lot too.
Yeah. One of the questions from the fandom for Aoife was if you have a favorite Saurian.
I mean, I could only have one favorite Saurian, right? How
Yeah.
could I choose another one? I mean, okay, I will say, and I don't know his name, the little guy that Aoife helps out, the little Saurian who was sick, that's a close second.
Okay. Yep.
I don't even know if he had a name, did he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he did. But obviously,
Yeah.
I could only have one favorite Saurian. I mean, when your character nurses a little guy back to health and he happens to have an eye patch and then he sticks to you for life, you can only have one favorite.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, yeah, he says, yeah, this is my assistant Kuku. I would love to see down the road. I would love to see some kind of situation occur to where Aoife lets Kakuku know, like, hey man, you're not just my assistant, like you're my best friend. Like, I mean, I think it's implied, and I think fans know that, but I would love to have that situation where, like, yeah, Ethan often acts like a parrot. I'm sorry, Kakuku often acts like a parrot, but he also shows a lot of spontaneity with how he responds. He's not just
Yeah.
repeating what Aoife says or what someone else says. Like, he'll respond sarcastically. I would love to at some point see that veil kind of come down if an important situation happens to where Aoife's like, hey man, like, yeah, I call you my assistant, but you're the best friend I got. And and then I would love to see Kakuku respond sincerely. I think that would cause some waterworks for people. I would love that.
Yeah.
Not that I want to write the whole thing. I'm just saying, like, it's an idea. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. One of the actually the top rated question from his fandom was what do you think him and Kakuku would like order if they went to a restaurant together?
Okay, well, I mean, what kind of restaurant would let's pick a style or let's pick a specific restaurant, then I will gladly tell you.
Okay. Well, I guess if it's like fitting to Natlan, then it would have to be like Mexican food or something like that.
Okay, I would say no doubt about it. I think Kakuku, I could totally see his eyes being bigger than his stomach. So Kakuku wouldn't just order a burrito. He would order the super mega giant burrito that has everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking like he would get the rice, the beans, the sour cream, the guacamole, the French fries. We're going California style with this burrito. It's the fries are getting in there. He's gonna get a mix of beef and chicken because Kakuku can't choose. He loves both. He's going to get all that thrown in there, and it's going to be so massive that the only way you can eat it is if you split it in two. But he's not going to bother because he can't hold it, so he's just going to peck at this burrito until he finishes it. Ifo would be a little a little more refined because he's got to stay active. He can't overload too much. So Ifo would just go with fajitas. Um, Probably chicken fajitas, I would think. Chicken fajitas, simple, bell peppers, onions, the tortillas on the side, sour cream on the side, guacamole on the side, a little bit of rice as well. So you put the rice in the tortilla, followed by the guac, a little bit of sour cream, and then you sprinkle some cheese on top. Then follows the bell peppers and the onions, and then the chicken. And he would enjoy that fajita while Kuku just embarrasses himself with that mega burrito. I guess I've thought about this. I don't know.
What about do you have any thoughts on Aoife's relationship with the other characters in Natlan?
So far, I mean, from what I've seen, it's cool because Aoife doesn't really have. I think it's too early to have any kind of serious issues with people. I think thus far, the reaction that the other characters have given Aoife in the game, it's kind of similar to, and tell me if I'm wrong. It's kind of similar to the way the fans have given their reaction to Aoife.
Yeah.
Um, Everyone kind of takes to him like, is this guy actually as cool as he seems? Oh wait, he is. I do love listening to Risley though, because Risley is like a no nonsense guy. You know what I mean? And obviously he's got a very high rank, and Joe Zage is just such an incredible actor, and man, that voice is very commanding. So watching them interact in the event was really cool. But yeah, I think it's pretty funny that the characters have taken to Aoife kind of the way the fans have, you know?
Yeah. I don't know how many like beyond Natlan. I don't. I mean, Natlan and Fontaine. How many characters in the game that you know? But is there characters from other regions you'd like to see Aoife interact with?
Ooh. There are so many. Um, I mean, I guess after hosting the special event for 5.6,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yep,
it'd be really cool to do some stuff with Varessa and Jane Jackson, you know. And obviously, Emily Cass voiced Escoffier. I don't know if there's any interaction there. I guess I can't say. Um, but because I've when you get to meet the other actors and you realize how cool they are and how talented they are, you're like, oh man, that'd be great to do some stuff with them. So obviously, Varessa Escoffier would be cool, and as much Ororon as we can get, man. Like send the bros on an adventure. Give them their own game. Let's do it. Why not? Buddy
yeah,
Cops. A buddy cop video game with Ororon and Aoife, and then somehow, obviously Kakuku's there. Imagine Kakuku wearing like a little police uniform with a badge, and he's like holding a little baton in his wing. I mean, come on. And then we could like arrest a How just for being a How, throw him in the
right.
throw him in the prison. But no, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about the game, and I'm very very transparent about that. It's such a deep lore, which I appreciate and I love it. And so I'm telling you, man, I'm so excited to see everything happening, and I'm so excited for the future too. Because man, the fandom and the passion for this game, man, it's hard to explain. And I'm telling you, it's exciting to be a part of it. That's especially with a character that's so loved.
Yeah, yeah, it is cool to see. Like I even noticed recently about the people that want to send you like a light box for Aoife's constellation and things like that.
So kind. I even offer. I said, hey, I'll pay for shipping. Like just like I just I'm never one to ask for anything, and for people to go out of their way. I said at the very least, let me do a post advertising your work. And most of the time they said, no, you don't have to do that. I said, no, I insist. I said, if you're going to send me something amazing that you spent your time and your effort on, I am going to post about it. And if you have a website, get it ready because people will visit your website. Maybe it'll give you some business. I mean, um, I'm someone who's worked so hard over the course of my career, whether it be, starting from the ground up, doing stand up and moving into hosting and acting and voiceover. No opportunity will I ever take for granted. And so, and this is a massive one. So when people
Yeah,
are excited for the character and people are appreciative and people go out of their way to send the positivity, I send it right back. I try to respond to every single person. Um, I'm not always on social media because, like I said, family and life and stuff like that. But I try to respond to as many people as possible. And trust me, like to everyone watching this, like thank you guys. This has been a wild ride, and man, I hope Aoife and Kakuku have a lot more adventures coming up for sure.
there's something specifically that you would want to see for Aoife's character.
Like I said, I would like to see. I love the comedy elements of it between him and Kakuku for sure, but I would love to have something down the road, maybe a little more serious to where it just tugs on those heartstrings a little bit. Because I know I can pull it off, and obviously Dominic can do anything with his voice and Kakuku as far as, and I think Kakuku has shown, like I said, the spontaneity and the personality. He's not robotic. He's not just repeating what he hears. He responds on his own. So I would love to see some kind of situation where maybe they're in dire straits and they really have to rely on each other. I mentioned buddy cops. If that kind of situation, I think that would be really cool down the road. And who knows, maybe that could happen down the road. But at the same time, I'm all for jokes. I'm all for comedy. I'm all for being able to improv a little bit and to make these events as entertaining as possible. And luckily, I think that's been a success because people are really excited and getting a lot of laughs from these events.
This is might be an obvious question too, but considering how easily you relate to him and like how tonally it's similar to your natural voice, has there been any difficulty getting into his headspace at all, or no?
Nope. Yeah, I wish I could pretend that I'm like some incredible actor and I have to warm up for a half hour. I need to do vocal exercise. No. To be honest, it's just repeating those lines 4 times and I get told whatever situation he's in and I'm locked in. And cuz like I said, it's such a natural character for me, so
Yeah. Is there something that you want to say to the fandom for him then?
oh, as Aoife or as myself or a little bit of both.
I guess both, yeah.
Well, as myself, Jonny Loquasto, I just want to say thank you. I will apologize. I'm not very good with Discord. I have a Discord, but I don't know how to use it. So maybe I think I need to learn how to use Discord. So if you find me on Discord, I apologize. I might not know what I'm doing. I might not see messages. So the best way to reach out, obviously, I'm Jay Quasto and everything. JQUASTO on Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, TikTok. Those are the big ones, and then Facebook. I'm at Quasto, just QUASTO. Those are the best ones to reach out on. But as me, Jonny Loquasto, I've said it so many times, but this is so cool. When you voice any character, you want to put your all into it, whether it's the smallest character, whether I'm a pissed off firefighter in GTA 5, or I'm a Saurian vet in one of the most popular games in the world. You want to put everything into it, and to you want people to love the character as much as you do when you're doing it. And I'm very, very pleased. I'm grateful for all the fans that have reached out and said all this positive stuff and like, man, you gave Aoife the life we wanted Aoife to have. Your voice is exactly what we wanted him to be. And it was a guessing game. I was like, I could just be me. That's all I can do. And I'm gonna keep doing that. And as much range as they want Aoife to have, I'm gonna give him that range. And I'm very excited for the future. So I truly appreciate everyone. Um, and as Aoife, I will just say, thanks, dudes. I'm telling you what, bros, the ride is only going to get more fun from here. So, see you later.
It does sort of tie into my final question too. It's always asking, what do you want your legacy to be?
As a human being,
Yeah.
whew, Chris, you're asking some deep shit. Legacy as a human being, I think ultimately, someone who always looked out for other people and obviously other animals. And most importantly, a great dad. I gained my family, you know, later in life. I say they're my kids. In actuality, they're my stepkids, but they're my kids, and they're 20, 18, and 13. So any step parent will tell you, anyone from a blended family will tell you that you feel like you have to play catch up, and you're trying to be the best you can, and you're learning on the fly. And I think this goes for anything: is you never know what life is gonna put in front of you, but if you put your best effort forward and you put your heart out there, I feel like only good things are going to happen, and you're going to make mistakes. Um, but I want my legacy to be that I was a great family man, and that you know, I had a lot to learn, still have a lot to learn. But I know my kids are going to continue whatever legacy I've made, because it's not about whether you're biologically family or not. It's about the love you have for each other. And
Hmm.
so that's what I want to be. I want to be a kick-ass dad. I would love to voice as many characters as possible. So I would love to have my voice like recognized by people on a wide scale. Like, oh, he did that and he did that. But man, Aoife, that's my dude. I would love that. And of course, I would love my comedy specials to always be available to people. And um, hopefully they'll enjoy those as well. So yeah, ultimately someone who always had a big picture in mind and wasn't selfish and tried to help other people, I think, and rescued as many animals as possible. That's the goal.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that we finally got to do this.
Oh, that was a blast. Thank you so much. You're the first person that reached out, and I wanted to do it, but I said, hey, let's wait until he's really in the game, so
Right.
we can build the anticipation, build the excitement, and so I would know a little more about it because, as you know, this world is a little secretive. And so this was perfect timing. Now that I was able to watch as much as I could and learn, I'm in this world, baby. You know, I haven't cosplayed yet. I'm not very creative with that. I don't know how I could possibly put together an Aoife outfit, but the opportunity's on the table. I will consider it. I don't know how I'm going to get
Okay.
the hair, but I'm open to it. So there's that down the road as well. But no, thank you, Chris. Thank you for your passion and your professionalism. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hope you have a good rest of your day then.
You too, brother.
Bye.